6:30, so we'll begin. My name is Patty Lynch, and on behalf of my father, Pat, I want to welcome all of you, and on behalf of Bill's entire family, thank you so much for being with them here today. Our services this evening are not going to be overly formal. We don't have a preacher, but we are going to have some people that want to share stories and memories, and everyone here will have the opportunity to do so if you so choose. There's some family members with prepared remarks that are going to get the ball rolling and share some thoughts and stories, and oftentimes it's hearing them and a memory is triggered or a story is triggered, and you're welcome to come up here if you're comfortable and share that thought. I always tell people err on the side of 2 or 3 minutes, not 20 to 30, or we'll get the hook, because you know, people may want, a lot of people may want to share, so we want to be courteous to one another. Before we start, it might be smart to turn off your cell phone, or at least put it on silent. And Marty said he was Bill's favorite, so he should go first. So he's going to get the bull run. We've got at least one Donna. And so, as I said, there's at least 2 or 3 that'll get the ball rolling, and then I'll chime in and say, okay, we can open it up a little bit, and those of you who want to share will be able to share, and then we'll conclude with some prayers. And there'll be time after the service to continue visiting if you so choose. Okay, God bless all of you. Marty?
So the truth is, we're here last Sunday at 1 o'clock, and we're working on the arrangements, so on and so forth. In the middle of it, they say, well, there should be some spokesmen to come up. So everyone turns around the room, from down to the Donna T to everybody, and they all point to me. So here I am. Anyway, I'll be as brief as I can. I love to talk. You all know what happens, knows me, so on and so forth. So one thing that I've always called this beautiful man is Willie D. And I didn't give him that name. In 2002, I looked it up the records. He asked me to help him out on his property up north on Lakeshore to help get it closed. Excuse my voice, it's been a long couple of weeks. Anyway, we're at the closing, and a buddy of mine, Susan, the title lady, he's signing docs and so on and so forth, had to give his driver's license. And she looked at it, William Dale Fetterhoff. Now, in other words, she just goes, Willie D. Well, the way this guy laughs anyway is infectious. It's just so beautiful, it's incredible. He starts cracking up. So here, sign this, Willie D, sign this. Well, it just went on and on and on from there. It was just incredible. So I've kind of called him that ever since. So if you want to know where Willie D came from, that's where it came from. In fact, I even have him in my phone under Willie D. Secondly, you know, kind, generous, talented, just incredible, man. And one thing that struck out at me that y'all will probably think about, he was a teacher. And I know it sounds really weird, but it's for the 25 plus years that I've known him, he's helped me on many, many, many things. And I couldn't rub together or spell a hammer or a vice grip when I first met him. The wife and I had some devastation of a property in Fort Myers Beach through a hurricane. He called me, I want to come down, I want to come down. No, 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 no. But what this guy has taught me is the reason why my house is professionally put together. It would have taken me 2 years instead of a year and a half, and it's all because of him. Anybody that's ever had any work done by him, with him, or helped him, whatever, there's 2 words that he used to do say all the time. Dry run. And he would do a dry run. I don't know what the hell he was talking about half the time. All of a sudden we were doing some tiles in one of my houses or bathrooms or whatever. Oh, God. And with all that said and done, what's a dry run? Well, he lays everything out before he glues it all down. Same with plumbing and so on and so forth. You don't know what that meant to me daily. And again, it was a year and a half, but we got devastated down there fixing this place up. 100 times minimum, I said the word dry run and laughed and cried and everything else thinking of this guy. Lastly, he's a hunter, he's a fisherman, and so I got a fishing story. And this has to be in one of his top 5 fishing stories ever. In Florida. 20 miles offshore, one of my boats. Shouldn't probably never been out there. But we checked the weather the next day. She's laughing. They were 1 to 2s. 1 to 2s or 1 to 2 waves. We go out. Me and Willie D, baby, and Sean. This is, I don't know, 20-some years ago. So Sean is in his teens. We go out there and we're 90 feet deep, 20 miles out. You know, Sanibel on one side, Bonita Springs on the other, right off of Fort Myers Beach, on the ocean. Beers flowing and just laughing and having fun, catching grouper, keepers, grouper, snapper, the whole gig. He pulls up a junk fish, and we actually were catching a few of them. I said, you know what, Bill, give me that. I take the fish, I gut her down, open it up, I got this big old hook, and I got a 100-pound test line. Throw that baby out there, tie it to the cleat of my boat, and we start fishing. And it's probably out 200 yards, couldn't even tell you. Half hour later, we're fishing, and Sean's with us, you know, whatever. We're down by the stern of the boat, which is the back of the boat, so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, and the boat just moves. Me and Bill. Well, the only smart thing we did at this point was we got our lines out of the water. Put our poles on the side of the boat, and we jumped to the back. And all of a sudden, the line got really, really, really loose. And I'm sitting there, oh my God, we lost this thing, man. God knows what it was. He'd asked me before, what do you catch off this? Sharks, stingrays, kingfish, whoppers, so on and so forth. Anyway, so the next comedy of errors, if we were on Funniest Home Videos, we'd have taken a lot of money. I start reeling in the 100-pound test, and the fish was still on, we didn't know it. Takes off. Ah! And I'm just bleeding like crazy. I get sliced like whatever. Bill's coming over, pouring beer on my hand. And the fish is pulling the boat back a little bit. We got smart, we got our gloves on. Bill goes over there, 15 minutes. Then I did 15 minutes, probably an hour and a half. We finally get this baby up the side of the boat. I gaff it. And we're sitting there, now what do we do? So we both lean over. Bill, strong dude, look at this kid. You know, imagine him 25 years ago. We wrestled this freaking fish. And it was, well, I'm gonna guess, I had a 55-gallon cooler, which is huge, it's like a 55-gallon drum. We wrestled this son of a gun, and we got it up in the boat, and we bring it over, Bill falls on his butt, and keep it clean. And the fish falls on him, and the fish goes over and starts flopping all over. Bill rolls over and just cradles the fish. Just cradles it, just tries to subdue it. Well, I jumped on it too, and here we are. We're looking at each other, and he starts laughing, I start laughing, and all of a sudden, where's Sean? Sean's at the bow of the boat, his face is white, his eyes are this big, and he's probably still thinking of Jaws, never been on the ocean, never been to Florida. All of a sudden, we finally got this fish subdued. Me and him picked this big old son of a gun up, open the cooler, put that baby in the cooler, sit down, he sits on top of the cooler, we have a beer, and we're just shaking. It was exhilarating. It was the coolest thing ever, man, it really was. All of a sudden, oh, you want to fish a little bit more before we get the hell out of here, because it's a 2-hour ride back to the marina. So we started, you know, just getting ready to grab our poles, all of a sudden, boom! The top of the cooler blows open. The fish just bounces right out and is flopping all over the bottom of the boat again. And Bill dives on the damn thing. I grab my knife and dive on top of it. This is probably 5-foot fish, probably 70 pounds. Anyway, I'm taking my knife and this thing's moving all over, and I'm missing a few times. I'm hitting the bottom of the boat. Trying to sell the boat in a few years, and they go, what are those marks? Oh, they're nice marks. I was missing the fish when I was trying to kill the damn thing. You're supposed to have a billy club or a pipe or a bat. I didn't have it with me at the time. We finally subdued the fish. And I'll fast forward, we went to the marina, and we were so proud of ourselves, it's just incredible. We got this big baby, we got keeper groupers and snappers, whatever. And we pull up, and there's a couple fishing charter guys there, whatever, getting ready to go out for the night fishing. And we couldn't wait to show off our couch. We opened this thing up, and they started laughing at us. We had caught a bonita. It's the most colorful, beautiful fish ever, but it's junk. It's pure blood, it's pure bones, you can't eat it, you can't do nothing. So we ended up giving it to a couple of guys so they could think of a shark fishing. Let's get back to, we finally killed this darn fish, put it in the cooler, and we were again exhilarated the whole thing, but I am full of blood. And whatever else. And Bill, you know, he had it all over his hands and face, he's leaning over washing, I get a 5-gallon pail, rinse off the bottom. We turn around and look at Sean. He probably passed out 3 or 4 different times, and he didn't realize it. So I go to Bill, watch this, and Bill's just dying. I mean, it was just, from the top, whatever. I go, Sean, you know what chum is? He didn't have a clue. Well, chum is, for you non-fishermen, you get a little mesh bag, and you put in guts and dead chickens and fish heads and everything else. When you go out fishing, pack the side of your boat, so the fish melt, and they come forward for you, and then, you know, you catch more fish. I go, Sean, watch this. I took 2 steps, you know, jump right in the ocean. I get, we're 20 miles out the whole game. I go, live chum. I thought Bill was going to die. I thought he was going to freaking lose it. Anyway, I could go on, but that's enough. We'll be fishing in heaven, dude. I love you, okay? Please, anybody wants to come up here and talk, come on up, okay? You know. I'll help you if you want. Hell, I got more stories, but he's gonna hook my ass in a second. He's standing right here. Here he comes.
Yeah, we'll let you go second round. if we
No,
have
I'm
to.
done, man. I'm done.
Donnie, you were.
I love you all. Thanks for coming. I have one more thing to say.
Of course, Marty.
I have 2 heroes and 2 angels in this room, okay? One's getting ready to come up here, and one is right here. What Donna T, sorry Donna, I'm sorry. What you have done for the last couple of years, at least the last 6 months that I'm aware of, and the last 8 weeks that I was pretty much involved daily, you're an angel. You're my hero.
Sure is.
Without a doubt. What she's done for Linda is just unbelievable, guys. The love, the care, the doctor's appointments, the hospice, the hospital, the rehab, everything else, and last but not least, the love this woman has for him and what she's done and what she showed and whatever. I just don't know what else to say. She's beyond my hero. She's always looked up to me, but she's never known how much I looked up to her, okay? Love you all.
Thanks, Marty.
Whew.
Come on now. Or after that, right?
He said you love.
Come on up.
Thanks a lot, Marty.
You are my hero. What you did for me, thank you, God. Good luck. I'll be up there with you.
There you go.
Whew. That was when we were fishing.
This isn't going to be as funny as Marty, but nothing's picked me up in a I'd like to share this poem with you that impacted me about 23 years ago. Can you hear me?
Can
You can?
Oh,
Okay. Let me know when you got it. Testing? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to share a poem with you that I was impacted by about 23 years ago. And it's titled, The Dash. William Dale Fetterhoff, April 23rd, 1944, dash, August 24th, 2024. I read of the man who stood to speak at a funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said that what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth. And now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. To be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash? That's the end of the poem. But I do have a few things, a couple of stories I too would like to share. And I'd like to share a few things about Billy's dash with you. Bill loved being on the water. In our earlier years, Ed and I spent many times with Bill and Donna on Lake St. Clair in his fishing boat. Bill was a master with always knowing where we were on that big lake. No matter how far we were from the boat launch, and as a rule, we were far from it, he always knew how to get back. I was really impressed and thankful, and I always felt safe with Bill as the captain. We would pack some good food to eat and drink on our adventures. We fished, we swam, we laughed, and sometimes we even got into a little trouble, like swimming in the North Channel without a life vest. I wouldn't advise that. You never know when your anchor will get caught on an underwater cable and you can't move the boat. Bill tried and tried. Quick action was taken and a rope was thrown out to rescue Ed as the current tried to sweep him away. Lesson learned that day. A few years later, Ed and I purchased a boat, and we went out on the lake with Brother Gary and met up with Bill and Donna on the water near McInrae's for the July 4th fireworks. As more and more boats gathered in these waters, we arrived in a bit of a blaze. Our motor was on fire. I wanted to jump overboard. I questioned what was worse, the fear of blowing sky high or the embarrassment we felt amongst many fine vessels. Ed and Gary extinguished the fire pretty quickly. We didn't know what the heck was going on. Bill and Donna were very close by, thank God. Wouldn't you know it, Bill came to the rescue. Not only with the knowledge of what happened, but he just happened to have the part on his boat that was needed to get us out of a hot spot. The guys fixed the problem. Bill saved the day. We have so many terrific memories with Bill as we all enjoyed spending time together. And on another note, Ed would tell you, and I agree, that all through our years with Bill, he was a good friend and brother, not just to us. He was always there to help or provide advice on projects of any size. I think the guy could build the Taj Mahal. Oh, am I missing a page here? Billy was there for everyone, even when he was still working full-time. Then after he retired, I believe he got busier. Bill and Donna's families were growing pretty quickly. Bill was the 911 response for everyone that needed his expertise. We became so accustomed to calling on Billy for help or advice. Last week, I told Bill that Ed is starting a project in our main bathroom. I told him I was going to pick him up with his wheelchair and bring him to our house to supervise Ed. He smiled and chuckled. And just a couple days ago, our daughter Melissa was discussing a new problem occurring at her home. As she discussed it with Ed, she said, "I think we need to ask Uncle Bill." Something tells me we'll be saying that forever. He has made such an impact on all of us. We are all part of Bill's dash. I would like to thank Billy for sharing his dash, his life, with all of us. Sleep well, my friend.
Those are tough acts to follow. Is there anyone else with prepared remarks that wants to come up? Otherwise, I'm going to ask that anyone who wishes to come up to tell a quick story or memory, please feel free to do so. And if you don't feel the courage, we can sit quietly for a little bit and then we'll pray, but now's the time if you want to share to share. Everyone good? conclude with a prayer. And before we go back to the visitation and visiting, if anyone has a last minute inspiration, there'll be a window, but at this time we will conclude with a prayer. Heavenly God, we offer you thanks and praise for the life of this good man. We thank you for all the blessings that you bestowed upon him and through him. We thank you for all the love he was able to give, and we are grateful for all the love he was able to receive, especially from the people in this room. We ask that you welcome him home now, that you reunite him with anyone who went before him that he missed greatly. And we ask in a very special way that you comfort those gathered here today in memory of him. There is great sorrow in letting go, but we rejoice in the thought of him coming home, to you and to others. Confident in your love for him and for all of us, we pray in the way we have been taught together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So everyone, at this time, we'll conclude this portion of the evening, and I want you to know that visitation does go till 8 o'clock. So if you didn't have an opportunity to visit with the family quite yet, you'll have that opportunity. Stay as long as you need, make yourselves at home, and there's always a few of us in the foyer if you need anything at all. But you've got time over the next hour or so to pay your final respects to Bill and to visit with his family, and thank you all very much for your kindness. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You can stand and mingle.